All right, we ready?
Go for it.
All right, we're here. Trevor Hoffman, the day of his retirement. Did you get that out? Did that feel good?
Sorry,
That's all right. We are under your stall, and people can still see the number 51 is up there. When you look around, we're inside the Padre clubhouse. What do you think about when you look around and you see that 51?
You know, that's quite an honor, to be honest with you, that the guys would have thought highly enough of me to maintain a token of recognition that I once was here. So, and that's through being a player in a different place. So, I think again, some of the things I talked about, being a teammate, I think it shines with that type of expression from the club.
Well, what does that mean to be a teammate? Because you are in a lot of people's opinions, your former teammates, the consummate teammate and a leader. And this clubhouse is your workplace as much as you're recognized for the mound. Your teammates recognize you for what you do in places like this.
Right.
How do you get there?
I think it's important to understand what it does mean to be a teammate. And you asked that, it's about being dependable. It's about being accountable and giving of yourself. I think guys need to understand. A lot of it came out of getting hurt throughout my career. And all of a sudden, you're the guy that's sitting in your locker and you're unable to really go around and help the club on the field. And so you become almost invisible. And so from that situation, I realized, you know what, there's other ways you can help a ball club out. You can help your people you're shooting up with. Pay attention to what's going on. Everybody's got something going on. And so the accountability factor is important, being dependable, but just being real and helping guys out through the situations they got.
So you realize that it's important to be a good teammate from sitting back and
it was an
not
example.
playing an active
I mean,
role.
it might not have been a moment, but it was definitely part of the process of trying to improve myself as a teammate.
The other thing, when we stand here and we're at your stall, and we've, as a media, have come in here so many times, you're always here when things didn't go well. But man, sometimes when things were going well, you were tough to find. Why was it that you were always here and always dependable when things didn't go your way, when there was a blown save? And sometimes when you converted like your 10th and 11th, 12th, and who knows what in a row. We had a tough time finding
I
it.
felt like it was my responsibility to be here in those moments where I didn't feel like I needed to make that same commitment because I was able to make that choice on a good moment. So even though it's kind of a weird rationale, it was my job to be here to talk about, unfortunately, the negative. And sometimes that's when I don't do well. That's kind of the outcome of the ball game, and that's what we need to talk about. The outcome of a good ball game doesn't always reflect on anything I might have done, even though I had attributed to it. It could have been someone else's glory that day. I think it was important for them to get it.
Does it bug you at all when you hear about players who are unavailable for comment when things don't go their way?
I think they regret it too. Yeah, it does bother me because I think it's our responsibility. And whether I heard that from teammates before I became into this situation, whether it was through Wally or Tony. I mean, countless hours I saw Tony in front of his locker. So, you learn it from the guys that do it in front of you. And I'm sure that guys that I've been around that have watched kind of pay attention to that sort of thing and are accountable when it comes time for them to have to speak. So,
why were you so good to us, the media? I mean, and I know people will have a tough time understanding it, but the reason why all of us say so many good things about you, A, because you're great. I mean, but B, because you always treated us well, and believe we're not always the best people on the planet.
I just think that you guys have a job to do. You are part of my workplace, and we enjoy the same thing. We enjoy baseball and talking about it and feeling it and smelling it. Sometimes you don't get those type of conversations with people you're around on a daily basis, or do they want to talk about it? And it allows you a platform to dissect some situations that you might not otherwise do that. But I've always been taught you just kind of treat people the way you want to be treated, and it doesn't matter what hat you do wear.
How at peace are you with this decision? We've been through the press conference, we've been through the announcement.
It's a big weight off my shoulders, and I don't mean it like it was a lamented situation over time, tremendous time, but you never really know how you're going to feel. I mean, you get one shot at this. In my book, you get one shot at this. And we've seen over time people not really sure after they've made their decision. And I feel very at peace with I finally got to the point where retirement wasn't such a dirty word. And I'm allowing myself into the next phase of my life, next chapter. And but for a long time, when you're asked from your standpoint, hey, how long are you going to do this? It was difficult to answer that. I might have been thinking about it, but you can't talk about that because now you're letting on to he's thinking about retirement, and it has a life of its own. And so for so long you just deny, and it got to the point where I got tired of lying about, I'm thinking about retiring, and ultimately come to the decision that we did today.
Do you remember when the actual decision was made?
Nothing
you actually said to yourself,
because
that's it.
I think when I didn't mind not getting up to get my workouts in, that I changed the way I was working out. I was riding road bikes and I was playing basketball and doing stuff that I would never have done as being accountable as a teammate. I wouldn't have done for the sake of potentially getting hurt and taking something away from my team. So when those things started happening, I knew I was leaning the way I was.
Well, you've worn, as you alluded to, 4 different uniforms in your career, but you're a Padre.
Yep.
You are one of the greatest Padres of all time, in some people's eyes, maybe the greatest. What does it mean to you, the connection that you've had with Padre fans from where you are to where you are today?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a situation that I'm most proud of, because I came in as an unproven rookie that nobody was happy to see for Sheffield walking out the door. Totally got it. But I knew that the only way that's going to change is by working hard and performing, and go out and earn the respect of this community and this fan base. And I think as that transpired and it blossomed into a great relationship, and the successes that we had on the field and the joy that it brought as a community, and allowed me a platform to be accessible to fans in different ways, whether it's at the beach, whether it's at a supermarket, and engage and truly feel the excitement that they have, and to be real with them, not just this TV figure or someone they read about in the paper. It brought a connection that was pretty neat.
All right, before we wrap this up, tell us something about Trevor Hoffman that we don't know. Because we feel like we know almost everything about you. We know the names of your kids and what's going on in your family and your brother and your brother's kids. That's something we don't know about you.
Yeah, really, I'm an open book, man. There's not a whole lot that I hide from. There's not a whole lot that I'm uncomfortable talking about. You know the things I like. I'm at the ballpark when I was playing most of the time. You saw that. So, I don't have any real major vices. That I like coffee. I get coffee every morning with my wife. I now grocery shop on Mondays. How about that? That's something you don't know. I grocery shop with my wife on Mondays.
That's it, huh? And you push the cart and everything.
Yeah, push the cart.
Not the handbasket. You actually push the cart.
I'm that guy. So
18 years. Could you imagine that this career? I mean,
you know what? People told me, enjoy it while you're doing it. Enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy the moment. And I couldn't have agreed more with what they were trying to tell you. And it's important to hear that, because it goes by so quick. It goes by in a blink. I mean, there's moments when it's dragging. There's moments you're like, God, it's such a struggle to pick yourself up and go back out and do it, or prepare. And you think of 18 years. 18 years is a long time. It's a tremendous amount of time. But now I feel like moving into a position of some sort, I'm going to have an opportunity to do that even longer than I did as a player. And so that can be scary and exciting at the same time. But, it goes by pretty quick.
Is there one moment that you think captures your whole career? One moment out there on the field?
You know what? It's hard to put a one moment at that magnitude. I think you're always striving to be the best. I think the opportunity I had to become a leader of a category in Major League Baseball, and to do it in front of your home fans, to do it in an independent race, aside from all the individual accomplishments, that was in conjunction with winning as a ball club down the stretch. And I think being able to tie Lee and break Lee's record here was probably as good as it gets.
Do you know the words to Hell's Bells?
Nope.
Yeah. Still?
I'm too busy locking in on hitters, man.
What happens when you're in the car and that song comes on the radio?
Just kind of bounce my head.
That's it?
Yeah.
Do you start thinking?
I wait for my boys to sing it. They're the ones that know the lyrics.
Do you start thinking about how you're going to get healthy?
Where I would be at?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about 10 strides in. No doubt.
Trevor, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for everything.
Appreciate you for everything, your professionalism. Thanks, guys.
Trevor Hoffman.
Hoffy, I have one separate question for you. You played with some very colorful characters in the game. Ricky Henderson, Hall of Famers, and Tony Gwynn and Greg Maddux. How about just the friendships that you keep from playing this game?
You know what? We'll just kind of go online with the characters. Being down the bullpen, there's been guys that have rolled through that have been tremendous characters. The Dan Masellis of the world that looks like just a crazy guy and was. The Brian Bowringers, Dave Bocklers, tremendous guys that kept it loose throughout the years down the bullpen. other guys. Andy Ashby couldn't be a greater guy, but is extremely funny and keeps things light and a hard worker. And then you got guys like Greg Vaughn, who's extremely funny in his own way. So I've had many teammates that I've enjoyed over the years and enjoyed the banter and the antics that go along with the opportunity to be in a clubhouse. And that'll be stuff that I'll miss.
Thank you.
You bet.
What a career, man.